In the life cycle part, I will cover the morphological, anatomical and reproductive aspects. Well, this is Funaria hygrometrica, the most common species of the moss that we see on damp walls in rainy season. This is the leafy stage of this plant that appears early in the season, and late in the season we can see the plant forms erect upright sporophytes. Here you can see how luxuriantly the plant grows on moist walls in rainy season. As I mentioned, this is the early leafy stage of the Funaria, and this is the later stage with formation of the erect upright sporophytes. This leafy stage represents the gametophytic phase of the Funaria. Here this image you see is the part derived from this greenish moss on the wall. Now let us describe the leafy gametophytic stage of Funaria. You can see that the gametophytic plant body is differentiated into a root-like, stem-like and leaf-like parts. Although these are the root, stem and leaf-like parts, these are not the true roots, stem and leaves, because they differ from the true roots, stem and leaves in many respects. The root system is represented by the rhizoids, which help the plant to fix to the wall or to the substrate. The stem-like part is called the stem or main axis. The stem internally contains parenchymatous conducting tissues. The stem is also termed as the cauloid because of its simple nature. The leaves are small and lanceolate and are spirally arranged on the stem. The leaves contain single prominent midrib but show absence of the lateral veins. Here you can see in this image the leaf contains single prominent midrib but shows absence of the lateral veins. The leaves are also termed as the phylloids because of their simple nature. Unlike the true leaves, these leaves show absence of the stomata on their surface. Since the gametophytic plant is erect and upright, it is also termed as the gametophore. These gametophytic plants are developed from the filamentous juvenile protonema. Actually, this protonema forms buds on its branches which grow into these mature gametophores. So this filamentous protonema represents the early phase in the development of these erect gametophores. Here you can see late in the season the plant forms erect upright sporophyte after the sexual reproduction. Sporophyte is partially dependent on this gametophyte for its nutrition in early stages. The mature sporophyte is differentiated into three parts: the foot that is anchored on the gametophytic tissues, its long seta portion, and the capsule at the top. The capsule is the spore producing part of the sporophyte. Now let us talk about the anatomy of stem and leaf. First of all, the anatomy of the stem. Epidermis is the outermost layer and it is present in the form of single continuous layer. The cells are thin-walled and compactly arranged. The cells of the epidermis are rich in chloroplasts and hence it is photosynthetic in nature. In older parts, the cells of epidermis are little bit thick-walled. The epidermis is followed by the zone of cortex. The cells are thin-walled and compactly arranged. The cells are parenchymatous in nature. At the center you can see this medulla portion. The cells of medulla are vertically elongated and they function in conduction of water and minerals. These cells of medulla are also known as the hydroids. Here you can see, although the cells of epidermis they contain chloroplasts, the epidermis shows absence of stomata on its surface. Now the section of the leaf. Here you can see the leaf is one cell in thickness except in the middle where it is many cells in thickness. Middle portion comprises single midvein which performs the function of conduction. Since the leaf is just one cell in thickness, it shows absence of the stomata. The gaseous exchange occurs by the direct diffusion process.